Hello, this is Laurie Williams from LJW Employment Solutions. Welcome to another episode in our series of job seeker tips. This tip covers the importance of having a great resume and has been broken up into several parts. Here is part 3, in which we look at the topics of career summary plus detailed employment information. Something I personally like to see pretty early in a resume is a career summary that provides a snapshot of the candidate's work history. If you look at the hypothetical example represented on this slide, you'll see good employment stability, career progression, and it really encourages the reader, or particularly me, to want to look further into the applicant's resume and learn more about them. When we get to the topic of detailed employment information, this is what I recommend. Employment period. This should be quite specific and preferably in a month and year format. Name of the employer is pretty straightforward. However, use the name that will mean something to most people. For example, Joe Bloggs Ford, not XYZ Nominees Proprietary Limited. The employer profile should tell the reader something about the employer and give them a decent overview. For example, XYZ Motors is a large retail automotive group and specialises in heavy commercial vehicles. The branch at which I'm employed is a franchise dealer for the ABC brand of heavy trucks, which are one of the top 3 sellers in the Australian market. Something like that. It's also quite common these days to include a link to the employer's website, which is often quite a handy thing. Position held. If you've only ever held one role with that employer, then it's fairly straightforward. However, if you've been somewhere for 10 years, where you started as an apprentice mechanic and progressed through the service department before moving into sales and finally sales management, then your resume needs to reflect this. Duties and responsibilities. Again, depending on the number of roles held with the one employer, but you probably need to focus more on your current role or the role that most closely equates to the position for which you're applying. Achievements. The objective here is to show that you can make a difference and make things happen. Best to avoid specific numbers that may be in breach of confidentiality, but general statements such as increased sales volume by more than 50% in the past 12 months, improved gross profit on new vehicle sales, increased CSI approval rating by a certain percentage to now rank in the top 5 nationally for our franchise, reduced staff turnover significantly, things like that are what potential employers really want to read. Reason for leaving is important, but may not always be easy or desirable to put into words. Probably best to err on the side of, if it makes you look good, put it in. If not, leave it out. Having said that, you will need to be ready to deal with this issue at interview stage, so give some thought as to how you will handle that. Well, that concludes part 3 of how to have a great resume. In the next and final episode, we'll discuss the often tricky topic of referees. Until then, thanks for listening.